Twitter horse racing. This is BTW Mick. Going to summarize my stay at the fairgrounds this year. The first day was December 11th, Louisiana Championship Day, and the first person I met was Joe CHRISTINA. Joe gave me the golden ticket, the media pass that allowed me access to the rest of the fairgrounds, and I'm ever grateful for that. The man who actually passed me the ticket was this man, Kevin Kilroy. Kevin was very good about showing me around the racetrack and introducing me to many of the people that I came to know this year. So with my media pass, I was off to the races, more or less. My first two interviews were that day with Adam Beskica and Deshaun Parker.
Yeah, it was a little chauffeur trip for me. He was trying to run and nowhere to go for a while.
Deshaun was riding in the juvenile on a horse named Brown & Brow, and he ran second that day. And as you heard, he had a little trouble, but he gave me a good tip about Brown & Brow. And the next time Brown & Brow ran, he did break his name there at the end.
Yeah, he's a maiden, so he won't be a maiden much longer.
So after that first day, I kicked around the racetrack for a week or so, and one day I saw a grandfather talking to his grandson about the horses, teaching him, and it reminded me very much of my childhood. My father took me to the racetrack when I was that age, and he taught me a lot about the horses, and I decided to make a Christmas video. And I turned to Adam Beskica, who I did my first interview with, and he was a big help.
Wishing everybody a very Merry Christmas from me, Adam Beskica, and everybody here at the fairgrounds. Happy holidays.
Then I decided to meet a lot of the people at the racetrack who are there to help people and just regulars at the track and see if I can engage some of them into this Christmas video. People like CHRISTINA, Leonard, Mandy, Lachey, Michael, and even a pretty famous trainer named George Leonard. For many people on Twitter and horse racing, good food goes hand in hand with good horse racing. And our next big adventure was thanks to my wife's cooking skills, and we got to meet Wayne Catalano, also known as the Catman. And Kevin Kilroy took this video of our visit. We really had a great time there.
Got us a little egg rolls and wontons and homemade from Michael and his lovely bride. It's not Cajun, but it's good.
It's Mick. Counter the feast.
My wife's with the regular guy.
Yeah.
I won money on the regular guy last year.
I got the kisses from him.
You got kisses?
Yeah, I got
That's
kisses.
what the chef gets.
Oh, what?
Yeah, thanks so much for cooking up the feast.
I'm so sorry I didn't. I didn't bring an apple.
My wife was just absolutely thrilled to be able to visit with the horses and swap recipes with the Catman. And the Catman gave us a great recommendation on a local place to get seafood. And right after that, our visit, that's where we went. So the video I made about Christmas ended with a promotion for the day after Christmas, which was a great day for me. I love 2-year-olds, and this was like the last chance for 2-year-olds to win a race. And I started off the day with a winner, my one and only bet. That was Verstappen. And but I had other interesting things to see. I saw St. Andrews, which was a quality road horse from my buddy ALLAN Weston out in New Jersey. I saw Just Might. Just Might is Michelle Lovell's horse, who won a big sprint that day. Chess Chief. So Chess Chief was a surprise. I saw his owner hugging the trophy afterwards and spoke to him. His father passed away but had purchased the horse, and so there was a very touching moment for the owner, James Coleman. North County won, and my friend Miss Kim had predicted North County was going to do really well that day. Then came the big race, the Gun Runner, and I was milling around and I saw a young man who actually is part of 10 Strike and owns a horse named Rocket Dog, who is the 4-5 favorite. And unfortunately, he ran into a buzzsaw in epicenter that day.
Great day of racing here at Fairgrounds. Beautiful day. Day after Christmas. A lot of fans, a lot of fun. Waiting for the 11th race. We'll be pulling for number 3, Rocket Dog.
It's 10 strike.
10 strike racing.
The last race on December 26th was won by Cyberknife. So Epicenter won the Gun Runner, won 2 more stakes at the fairgrounds, including the Louisiana Derby, and Cyberknife is the winner of the Arkansas Derby. So you get some very good young horses there in the fairgrounds in the winter. So my wife and I like to take our dog for a walk, and we often walk to City Park, and we park on Esplanade and walk down Esplanade to City Park. I've seen Joe Sharp jogging there. I've seen Adam Beschizza with his dog Milo, and Alice COHN, who has 3 dogs, sometimes walks her dogs there. One day we went by Santa Fe, which is John Dooley's place for margaritas. I found a little alligator, plastic alligator outside, so I had a little fun with John Dooley. And to quote my wife, John Dooley's right about the margaritas at Santa Fe.
So beautiful. The calamari is so fresh. It reminds me of the honeymoon in Barcelona.
I came down to interview people, so I screwed up my courage and asked Adam Beschizza, who had helped me twice before, to give me my first interview. And we talked about several things, including his infamous nickname.
They couldn't say my surname, my last name, and my aunt kindly said to the stewards who were struggling to say my surname, "It's Biscuit, sir." So she thought she was correcting them and being polite at the same time by being informal. So they got confused and they said, "Okay, Mr. Biscuit, can we hear your view on or take on the race?"
I started experimenting with my camera on weekdays, doing slow motion and hyperlapse videos, and had a little fun there. I'd seen that Ray Lou Gutierrez is a very good young jockey down here at the fairgrounds, traveling around a lot, and I see him a lot on Twitter, so I gave a 10-second interview to him, and wow, did it get the attention on Twitter.
Who's the best handicapper on Twitter?
It's not Shu. It's not Shu. I love Shu, but it's not Shu. I'd say Andy Serling. I gotta go. I think Andy, he does a really great job.
The next big day was the Lecomte Day, which was a great day of racing, a little disappointing to me in several ways, but I'll go through my memories. Just Might won another sprint, but was taken down on a tic-tac-y foul down the backstretch. Love Michelle Lovell as a trainer, but Just Might as one of her great horses. I bet Vinco, who was 7-2, first-time starter for Dallas Stewart. Something happened to him on the backstretch. Looked like he backed up all of a sudden, but then came flying down the stretch to get second. Luckily, I had him to place too, but would have been a nice win that day. La Crête won. That was a very good race. The sister of Clairiere took the Silver Bullet Day, I think it was that day. And then the big race that I wanted to see was the rematch of Mandaloun and Midnight Bourbon. They had faced each other last year in the Lecomte, in the Risen Star, and in the Louisiana Derby. And here they were coming back after layoffs, but in a very big race.
These leaders come toward the top of the stretch. It's Midnight Bourbon as Mandaloun is poised on the outside as they come past the quarter pole. 3/4 in 1 minute 12.23 seconds. Mandaloun and Midnight Bourbon as the Millionaires match strides with 1 furlong to go here at the fairgrounds. And Mandaloun has a slight lead from a battling Midnight Bourbon. Then toward the inside is Warrant in third. Sprawl is fourth.
The last race was the Lecomte, and my friend Miss Kim, she predicted that Lecomte was a kind of race where upsets usually happen. and upsets did happen. The two favorites were Papa Cap and Epicenter, and the two of them were fighting it on the turn all the way down the stretch, but out of nowhere came Jimmy Graham and Call Me Midnight.
Call Me Midnight, Unified Report, Presidential Last, they're into the stretch. 3/4 in 1 minute 12.16 seconds. They're coming down toward the final furlong in the Lecomte and its epicenter. Tackled up the inside by Trafalgar as they come in. Papa Cap is toward the inside. Trafalgar's now third. Late bid by Call Me Midnight, who's charging hard on the outside. It's epicenter. Papa Cap the rail, and here's Call Me Midnight on the outside. Photo finish in the Lecomte. Call Me Midnight.
The next big day was a week after the Lecomte, and that was the Exotic Animal Day. No doubt that had to be the biggest crowd of the season. They were there to see ostrich races and camel races. I was more focused on my friend Adam Beschitza, who helped me so much, and him getting his 500th win. He did that in the second race on a horse called Holy Emperor.
Adam Beschitza, 500 career wins in North America, and Adam right back here at Fairgrounds with Joe Sharp.
Yeah, it's quite a fitting moment actually. It's where it all began. Joe's been a huge part of my career since I came to America.
So February starts the Mardi Gras, and I decided to make a short Mardi Gras video.
Come blow your horn at the Mardi Gras.
After the Mardi Gras promotional video, I got cracking again with interviews, and my friend Ricky Clark, who introduced me to many interesting jockeys, got me an interview with Aubrey Green.
So to prepare for the races, what I usually do is I like to print off the past performances on the horses that I'm going to ride and the other horses in the race. And the night before, I'll just go over the races and I'll see, if it's a claiming race, who's dropping from a higher claim or from allowance races, who's speed, who comes from off the pace, who's going to stop if they go to the lead, just to have an idea how the race is going to play out and what position I'm going to try to put myself in. And
after Aubrey, I interviewed Joe Lombardo, who used to be an owner and trainer, and who is a historian of the fairgrounds, in my estimation. Joe told the story of Risen Star in this next video.
He was a local horse owned by a local guys, Mr. Louie and Mr. Ronnie, and everybody was pulling for him here, and he really should have won the Triple Crown, but he run into a little bad luck in the Derby, and but everybody pulled for him and everybody loved him for the fairgrounds, and that's why today we have a race by the name of Risen Star, because he was one of the greatest trios that ever run here.
And speaking of Risen Star, the Risen Star Stakes came up next, and Epicenter was the center of attention that day. And luckily I had him to win. So after Epicenter won the Risen Star, I saw a picture of his finish on Twitter that just stunned me. It was so beautiful. And I wondered who took that picture. Of course, I kind of knew it was Lou Hodges, because I've seen Lou Hodges at the track every day, but I never introduced myself. So I made it a point to introduce myself and get to know Lou a little bit better.
I was there, of course, for the first Arlington Million, and got to see John Henry and the Bart.
Up close.
Yeah, it's very close. And just an amazing stretch tool. That picture that I took of it from the inside rail was probably used in more publications than anything I ever shot. It was used all over the world. And it was the basis for the statue of that finish that was later produced.
I sure am glad that I got to know Lou Hodges better, because he was very helpful to me in my next interview with Garrett Broussard. I want to learn about the Clerk of Scales, and I learned a whole lot more than I expected to.
Jerry Bailey, you told me about?
Oh gosh, yeah. Years ago when he was riding this horse called the Great Cigar, he would ship. I was lucky to be his valet when he would ship into the fairgrounds. and he's going to ride Cigar in Dubai, and he needs a very short whip. The whip rulers there was real short, and I made him one, and I think Cigar won that race. My whip didn't win the race. My whip might have been in Bailey's hand, but that's about it.
I met Alice COHN walking around our neighborhood with her dogs. She has 3 dogs, and we have T-Bone. She's a pretty famous trainer. Marcus Hirsch called her legendary. I agree. And while we were filming the interview with Garrett, I heard somebody call out, "I know that dog. That's T-Bone." And that was Alice COHN, who was out on her exercise pony that morning. There were no big days, but there were some big horses that ran over the next couple of weeks. Proxy was a big horse. I got to see Clairiere win, and I got a small short video of her in the paddock. Same with Nashville. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Kim Langston, or Miss Kim as I like to call her. She loves horses. She loves the people that take care of the horses and the jockeys and just about everybody at the racetrack. And she was my guide, my mentor, and she introduced me to horses out in the barns. And here's a little video of one. War loves Kim. You love Kim, don't you? Pretty girl.
She's really come around. She used to not really have anything to do with anybody, and now I can come up and...
I'm not the only one who appreciates Miss Kim for all that she does. Others appreciate her as well, as you can see in these videos.
Where are you? We miss you. We don't see you today. Come on.
This is Kim Biscuits are strong. Where are you, Kim?
Where are you, Kim?
Here. Look, the club's all here. Look.
Your friends are all here.
I don't know whether they're your friends or not, but
you know better than that.
I have to give a big shout out to my wife, Chunshui Jiang, or Christina, as she's commonly known. She suffered through my trips out to the track every day and did it with a big smile. She made my life a very happy place. And she loves fashion, so she likes to go around town, but she also loves food. And she got to meet Sack Shoes at the Louisiana Derby day. Parade time. The track is a great place, and I learned a lot about friendship out there. And there's a small video here of Aubrey Green giving a big hug to Bob Acero, and it kind of encapsulates the friendship that you can find at the track. And
Thank you so much. Hey, you know we love you no matter. We're behind you. Yeah. This gentleman is up.
one of the rituals that I noticed at the track was what Garrett calls passing of hands. That's where the groom, who cares and loves the horse very much, takes the horse out of the paddock and hands him off to the outrider, who's waiting to take him to the gate. I sensed my time slipping by, and I had to get back to doing some interviews, and I wanted to interview Kevin Kilroy, who's the new analyst at the fairgrounds, and he spoke a lot about his love of horses, but also his love of pizza.
A lot of fun doing it. So I make a really thin crust, cracker thin, sort of Chicago Tavern style pizza, do all sorts of funky toppings on it, a lot of like pickled vegetables and stuff like that. And I love it. Yeah, so my family and I, we always are brainstorming and you know, fantasizing, dreaming about a restaurant called Mood Swings, based off of every Friday night in Kansas City. There's a great radio show called Rockabilly Mood Swings. We put it on, we swing our mood to the weekend.
The day before Louisiana Derby Day, they started spiffing up the track, painting, refreshing things, and they added a nice little sign for Les Colonello called Colonello's Corner. And I was lucky enough on that Saturday to get a picture of Les when he first saw that sign of his, and he was taking a picture of it. So I spoke to Les about that shortly after.
About your corner? I was totally surprised. I'm very gratified and honored that they would do that, and that makes me feel like part of the family.
I publish a joke every day, and some people think I have an odd sense of humor. They don't get me. I understand that, but Ed DeRosa got me.
Second question is, how do you like your flamingo prepared?
Grilled.
No, answer is pink on the inside, served by Bar Shoe Life.
Not CJ?
Well, maybe.
I did a lot of jockey interviews towards the end, and I want to thank all the jockey colony at the fairgrounds, because pretty much everybody had some kind of an interaction with me. I also want to thank Ricky Clark, who helped me meet some of the jockeys who don't race in this colony, like Johnny Velasquez, like Joel Rosario, and Tyler Gaffleon.
Ricky, he's an Apprentice Award winner in 2015.
Oh, I knew that.
He's one of the best.
I knew that. I read up on him.
Speaking of jockeys, I interviewed Brienne Culp, and she spoke about being a bug girl.
Apprentices are also called
Bug girls.
Bug girls or
Yep.
bug boys.
Yep, right.
How many more wins before you break that bug?
Well, I'm already past 5 wins, so I have a whole year. So December 27th, I believe, is when.
After interviewing Brienne, a young man named Keith came up and introduced himself to me, and he told me, "That's my wife you're talking to." And I said, "Well, I'm just doing my job." And he said, "Oh yeah, I know about you. You do interviews." And he was a jockey, Keith Austin, and he is now a trainer. And the day after the fairgrounds meet ended, he and I did this interview.
I used to see her on a horse, and I would tell her, "Good morning, baby blue eyes," and she never really responded. And I just kept to the task every morning. "Good morning, baby blue eyes." And eventually she decided to take a chance and go to dinner with me. She has one of the best hearts. She is a godly woman. She is the love of my life. She's my wife.
And she's also your jockey, right?
She is that.
So that's a wrap on my season at the fairgrounds. If you want to see any of the videos that I talked about, you can go to YouTube and look for Mike Joyce Horse Tales, not TVG Mike. But I want to thank my beautiful wife, Christina, for putting up with my nonsense and me heading to the track all the time.
Amen for that.
Amen for that.